Greetings and welcome to this channeling of unconditional love's highest vibrational message of wisdom and guidance, most pertinent to you at this time. The way that I'm doing this reading uh, creates a nature that, the reading is kind of designed to look at things that have been more hidden, things that are typically more hidden, maybe during your day-to-day waking life or your active and conscious life. You might not have grasped, understood, intuited, felt, or you might have intuited, but not allowed yourself to fully receive. So we're connected with Spirit today to bring in that message. And as I am shuffling the deck, 4 cards just flipped over together, and they're the I'm not going to take them, but I'm just going to talk about them a little. The 7 of Wands, the King of Wands twice, and then the Ace of Swords. So there's someone holding back on taking major action. But this action, right, this action that they would take would be so in alignment with the highest truth. For some reason, they have a lot of resistance toward it. It's because there's an old part of their ego that they are still, that they still identify with, that is experiencing a familiar kind of like a dynamic external to it, and is thus responding in the like with resistance. That is, it's just, old patterns. And then there's a higher part of their ego that has truth, and the doorway to this higher part of themselves and the action it would take would be the action of its lower part of its ego to kind of get rid of that block, the barrier, the resistance. Yeah, that energy, it just came up. It just kind of flipped over and flipped half the deck over with it. And what was visible on the top, like when it flipped over the deck, was the Ace of Swords. So this could be a truth that feels like it could topple things. Maybe in the eyes of this person, it feels like to them this truth could topple a lot. But their higher self, right? There's a higher part of themselves that knows they have this responsibility to bring this truth. They really are holding back though, and really sitting on the information. Wow, this is like, I don't even think Spirit wants us to keep this person's cards out, but we're just talking about the energy a little bit, because what we have here is also a double hanged man, right? Just in how I'm holding the cards. And it just, it does emphasize how this person is in limbo. Is that the word? I really do want to say suspended. Like how this hangman is literally suspended. I don't really feel like this person is suspended by spirit to gain some sort of higher information or higher knowing. It feels like this person knows a truth already. It does feel like they are just suspended, kind of just waiting possibly for what they personally feel is the right time. That could be, let's see here, waiting for what they could feel is the right time. But really it feels more like sitting on their hands because they're just kind of scared to say something or do something, or scared to call out the devil, quote unquote. Scared to put down that part of their ego, that lower part that is enchained and in bondage to the world around them, and is out of alignment with the truth. They're scared to do that, to deal with that. So they're kind of sitting on their hands there and telling themselves that they're waiting for the right time. Okay. Let's see if we can get into the actual reading now. That's just someone. Maybe that's you, feeling more that that's you, that you're possibly more of a cross watcher. But actually that energy could be pretty united within you, right? So this could be very blended for you. That could be something that your masculine energy is experiencing, and your inner feminine could be experiencing something else. She's driving something else. Let's see. And the first card that comes out to stay and start the reading is the Queen of Pentacles. So this is the energy of a feminine energy, right? So if you're resonating with that previous portion of the reading with the Kings of Wands and your internal masculine energy is feeling that hanged man state, there could be some cycles and patterns from your past and your childhood that you're breaking through at this time. You're seeing through and breaking through at this time. Even if you're resisting, ultimately you're gonna see through and break through those patterns. Okay, so your feminine energy here is sitting in, and why am I feeling like with this feminine energy, I feel like I'm looking at her, right? I don't maybe feel like we're here. So maybe actually if you're resonating as this Queen of Pentacles, you might be the cross watcher here. I don't know. You'll you'll be a better judge of that. So this Queen of Pentacles energy, right? Oh wow. I heard studious. I feel like she's being seen as studious. I feel like she's being seen as studious by someone who's looking at her. Maybe it's that King of Wands energy from earlier. Maybe it's more than one person. She's studious. She's being looked at with a lot of love. Okay, I feel like this. Okay, yeah, this is how if you're watching this reading as typically as, someone who possibly typically watches this channel, you could be resonating as the Queen of Pentacles, right? If you are watching this reading and you're resonating as the King of Wands, you could be looking at someone that you're seeing as this Queen of Pentacles. So you're seeing someone as studious, beautiful, mature, good-natured, good-natured in connection with nature as well. Soothing, calm, like you see them as a gift, and you're very grateful to have them. Some Queen of Wands energy here. And like from the outside looking in, she looks very peaceful. She's focused and attentive, and which is why you could be seeing her as very studious. But she's really attending to something that is very important to her. With the two of swords, right? And the Knight of Swords on the split here. It's like this Two of Swords energy speaks about denial, creating odds with the truth, like having a truth and then allowing thoughts and doubt to come in. So it's like when your soul, your whole being knows something, but then you allow your logic or something else to convince you to have a thought. So it's like thinking versus knowing. Knowing is usually more accurate. So there's a truth here. Behind the Knight of Swords is the King of Cups. It feels like there's a truth that unburdens someone's heart and liberates their energy so that they feel more independent. And they also feel more connection with nature and their divine nature. Someone is kind of holding back on speaking the truth. or this person is actually, it seems like, not seeing how this truth could liberate their heart and their energy and liberate this Queen of Pentacles energy that they're looking at as well. And now I'm also flipping into the Queen of Pentacles. So if you're Queen of Pentacles, maybe cross-watching for this reading, you are going to see that kind of mirrored in you in some way. Like there's some way that you're not seeing that some truth, right? Some internal battle of truth versus non-truth, knowing versus thinking that's happening within you. If you bring truth to yourself and sit in truth, you'll feel more liberated. You'll feel lighter and more independent. And like your heart is growing and warmer. On the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Cups. That's interesting. Behind the Queen of Pentacles, right on the split of the Queen of Pentacles coming out, we had this Two of Swords energy and this Knight of Swords, not being fully convinced of the truth. The truth about, a truth that would, again, bring a King of Cups energy, right? And emotional stability, emotional clarity, maturity. Now, on the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Cups. Behind her, you have a lot of Pentacles. So I'm getting that this is more of the internal perspective of this Queen of Pentacles here. So from the outside, she's looking like that Queen of Pentacles. From the inside, she's feeling like this Queen of Cups. So she's very focused on her heart, right? She's really focused on her heart, protecting her heart, growing her skills in like how she's able to honor her heart and love her heart. That's what this Queen of Pentacles is feeling on the inside. Queen of Cups. This Queen of Pentacles / Queen of Cups is feeling on the inside, right? This person is developed into an emotional queen. An emotional queen. Maybe this person didn't used to be able to sit in their softness, or maybe that's always kind of been a superpower of theirs, but there's just this royalty in their softness that I'm feeling and this beauty there. And behind this Queen of Cups' energy is this desire to bring in a bright new energy, right? Wow, it's not just a desire to bring it in, right? So it's the Seven of Pentacles, which is talking about expecting something, right? 2:11 on the clock. Expecting something. It's talking about awaiting. It's like you've planted seeds. You know your ground is fertile. You've tilled it beforehand. You're just waiting for the bloom. This Seven of Pentacles. And then what you have behind that is the Ace of Pentacles, that being the bloom, the what's going to poke out of the ground, the opportunities that are going to present themselves. For what? The King of Pentacles. To create like an expanded material state, an expanded state of wealth. This Queen of Pentacles wants to become a King of Pentacles, wants to be able to provide enough for herself and not just feel provided for by the universe, but also be able to provide for her causes and things outside of herself, essentially, people outside of herself, if she so chooses. As we say that, we also have this Temperance and the Empress energy. So for some of you, you've been working to get pregnant and you just know you just know you're going to come up pregnant, or like that, that you're going to get through a bumpy period of your gestation, that maybe before getting through that period of your gestation was hard for you. You might have gone through a long journey actually regarding that. But you've now come to a place where you've healed a part of your feminine. You've healed your wisdom, your wise feminine, and you've healed your heart. And you just know that you're gonna get over some phase, some period in that gestation. And if you've been wanting to create something else, right? If you're if you haven't been trying to co-create a child, or but you've been trying to co-create something else, you can also you can kind of use that gestation as a metaphor, and having a hard time getting over a certain hurdle in the past when you try to create something like this or that. Having a hurdle in the past, so you kind of just, you're over that hurdle this time around. You're just, you're just kind of Seven of Pentacles, watching and waiting. Watching and waiting. Watching and waiting. You know that, you also know that you're not really, it's like, okay, I'm getting like that, that this is going to bring you into major, very strong, high level, intense alignment with yourself, your highest timeline, and with the ideal, the love outside of you that is a match to this. You know this, you know that. So right now you're not, and by you, I'm at this part of this video, I'm saying I'm talking to the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups energy. This Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups is not taking any actions right now towards an external lover situation, an external relationship. She's not in a state of really active action. Like, she's holding back any impulse to, act, do this, say that, cut this, burn that, move there, all those things. She's kind of holding that instead, because of this knowing that whatever comes in is going to put her in a space of really intense alignment. So this queen is looking out. I see, it's like she's really looking at what is toxic, what has a toxic hold on her, what has a toxic hold in her life, what is manipulating her, what is putting her where she doesn't want to be, pulling her out of where she wants to be for its sake, using her, what's making use of her energy more than she is, what's exhausting her or keeping her trapped up from fully experiencing her passion, her comfort, her authenticity, her joy, her inner peace on account of the authenticity. And she's, so she's realizing all these things during this period of inaction, and just relative action, and kind of just, making decisions on both of those. Like, okay, are you carrying that over? How far is that wheel going to turn? I'm getting like this weird wheel that, okay, it turns, you come off the bigger part of the wheel, and then you're on a smaller part of the wheel. It turns, you come off, and the width of the wheel kind of is a reflection of how much of this toxic energy is yet to be recognized and cleared out. Yeah. How much of that? So things are still coming to the light right now, so that relationships and experiences can be looked at differently, or can be seen from a a more divine perspective. Things are coming up right now for that sake. And this feminine kind of has the task of looking, and in both of these queen cards, she's really, the emphasis on what she's looking at. She's really looking, and she has the task of looking without looking away, without trying to dissociate or divide, decide, do anything. Just perceive, observe, if you will, and gain the information that's coming in from that. That's what this queen is being tasked with by spirit. So I was shuffling for a little while, asking spirit, so how do you want to continue this reading / close it out? And shuffling the tarot cards still. And I was thinking, and I was like, it just came to my mind. I was thinking back to the beginning of the reading when those two Kings of Wands came out. One from the Rider-Waite, one from Santa Muerte. And I was like, interesting. Just what would be some guidance? What would be some advice for whoever needs it in this reading today? And what we have that came out is the King of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So it's the same King of Wands and Ace of Swords that came out earlier. This King of Wands is talking about embodying this higher self and this higher action-taking energy and moving in alignment with the truth, moving for the truth, taking action on the truth. Taking action on the truth. Taking action on the truth. And on the bottom of the deck, there's justice. Taking action on the truth is justice, brings justice. It brings karmic rebalancing, karmic balancing. I was getting earlier in the day, just kind of a shuffle, right? A shuffling of energy that's happening based on how you're changing the way you move energy, the way you move in your energy, the things you choose to say, the things you choose to not say. So this King of Wands energy and this Ace of Swords, this is truth, authenticity, spiritual alignment, as in aligning your actions with your spiritual knowing, your spiritual beliefs and principles. Spiritual beliefs and principles, alignment. Behind justice, we have the Hierophant with the star. This is also illuminating principles and beliefs to either, shift them or strengthen them, strengthen our courage in them, our belief in them. This action, right? This action, this truth, this is rebirth. This is rebirth. This is being reborn into life to live life in a new way for someone. So in order to do that, the heaviness has to get cut down with the truth. Unnecessary weights, added things, additives need to be cut. Additives need to be cut. And someone is being guided to with the King of Wands and Ace of Swords here to just move in alignment with that truth, move in confidence and assuredness with their higher selves, with their higher self and the higher truth. Okay, so let's see here, right? Let's move the tarot over to the side. and see if Unconditional Love has a Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle message. So we'll start by reading the card on the split, which is the reason why you're getting this message in the first place. And okay, let's move this. What we have on the split, the state of your energy, which is the reason you're getting the guidance and the wisdom that's coming through from the crystal wisdom, from the crystal oracle, is number 48, Eye of the Storm, Safe Haven. 48 breaks down to 12 or 3. Eye of the Storm is a safe haven for your soul, a calm center no matter what upheavals may occur, a life support system during stressful times or serious illness. Hold on to it during challenges so that you keep things in perspective. You may be allowing the challenges and traumas of life to push you off center. Stress and pressure are a major cause of your dis-ease. You could be focusing too closely on one aspect of life to the detriment of others. Look at the wider picture. Time to relax and let go of your stress. Stay mindful rather than watchful. Excess adrenaline adversely affects your immune system. Switch on the positive potential in your cell walls. Meditate quietly to rejuvenate your DNA. You can stay centered and calm no matter what storm rages around you. Okay, so some of you may have been going through what feels like quite a chaotic time. And that chaos could be really more strongly associated with people who are connected to you. And what we have as your wisdom, which is the card that came out, is number 28, Smoky Quartz Celestial, Transmutational Magic 10 or 1. A stone for karmic healing. Smoky Quartz Celestial opens into... A stone for karmic healing. Smoky Quartz Celestial opens into different dimensions and brings powerful transmutation. Be patient. Much stirs beneath a calm surface. Total transformation is close. It may entail a trip into the underworld. Your shadow becomes your brightest gift. Toxic emotions turn to positive regard. Ground your efforts in the everyday, but retain contact with higher realms. Success comes through dedication and trust in your abilities. Mentors are available. Release yourself from old enchantments. No part of you is evil or bad. Embracing your shadow leads you to healing hidden in the darkest reaches of yourself. Total transmutation. Wow. Okay. And finally, the energy that underlies this crystal wisdom. The card at the bottom of the deck is number 2, Flint, Portal Power. Flint stabilizes energy and cuts through to the core of issues, clearing blockages and loosening ties. It opens portals to other worlds and hidden aspects of yourself. You are a person with profound inner depths. Do not be afraid to explore this hidden side. It contains treasure beyond knowing, together with attitudinal karma and repressed emotions affecting well-being. Flint connects you to your ancestors. A natural traveler, you know how to negotiate the shamanic underworld to obtain healing insights. Strengthen your boundaries. Cut through confusion to the core of the matter. Soul retrieval is necessary if you left any part of yourself in another life or an abusive childhood experience. An unwelcome visitor from the past can be left behind, but recognize lessons before you move on. paying attention to energetic boundaries and core strength, cutting detrimental ties, and strengthening your connection to the planet maintains well-being, safely exploring other worlds. So that last one kind of felt like, oh my gosh, my words. That last one felt more strongly like guidance for that King of Wands energy. However, that's resonating. And I felt guided to look underneath Flint. And the card under Flint is number 34 or 7, Moldavite, which is a card of great transformation, immense change all around, metamorphosis. Even. So, and it, can be kind of seen as like a rapid transformation stone, right? Like intense transformation, intense metamorphosis is associated with Moldavite energy. So that was the end of our reading for today. I really hope it gave you perspective on the other side, right? The hidden energies, but still clarity, confirmation. Yeah. I'm grateful that we were able to connect here as well. So until we connect again in the next reading, do take care of yourself and happy aligning.